ServiceNow has already had deep integrations with Moveworks, sharing 250 customers. So this acquisition seems more like a natural progression almost. But I want to get I have some key questions about this, about what it means for the industry going forward and how it could affect everything. So, Eric, what do you think about what does this acquisition mean for broader enterprise automation landscape? And is it a response to growing competition from Microsoft and Salesforce potentially?
Yeah, yes to that last part. I think it is a response to growing competitive pressures, and I think in terms of AI, it's a really interesting race we're seeing. With vendors that are scrambling to either create their own capabilities and develop it fast enough, but also companies like ServiceNow that are out acquiring AI technology providers. But I think ServiceNow is in a unique position though, because if you think about the type of software they provide versus other more transactional or more back office types of ERP systems, ServiceNow is probably or arguably the most ripe for agentic AI in terms of being able to automate some of those workflows and use more artificial intelligence to engage with either end customers that are submitting tickets or customer service complaints or whatever the case may be, or ticketing and workflow management around IT help desk support or whatever the use case is for how you're using ServiceNow. So so much of ServiceNow is customer facing, and it lends itself well to that agentic AI sort of approach. So I think it's good that they're out acquiring a provider that already does it really well rather than trying to create it themselves, assuming they can integrate it, the technology well into their stack, which I assume they've thought through that. And Bill McDermott, who's the CEO of ServiceNow, used to be the CEO of SAP. So I know he's an aggressive leader, and I know they brought him in to ServiceNow to help aggressively grow not only their technical capabilities, but also their market share in the overall enterprise tech space. So I think overall it makes sense just from what little I know about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And how do you think that Moveworks AI will enhance ServiceNow's existing enterprise automation tools?
Yeah, I think it'll further enhance it. I mean, I think the AI capabilities, from what I know about it and what you've described about it, will help speed up and automate some of that stuff that even with the automation of ServiceNow historically seems a bit manual now, that you have agentic AI options and chatbots and things of that nature that can take over some of that human interaction. So I think it seems to fit really nicely into their business model and what the capabilities of the software already are.
Yeah, for sure. And with, I guess, looking at the future, what does this deal signal about the future of AI-driven enterprise solutions? And should organizations be preparing for an AI-first automation strategy?
Yeah, I mean, even if you wanted to ignore AI, I don't think it's really possible to as you're going through these digital transformations, just because AI is getting baked into just about every enterprise or business technology out there. So I think it's just recognizing that change is coming, and these technologies are changing way faster than you as an organization are ever going to be able to, and that's okay. Just recognizing that gap or that divide between the way you operate today and the way newer technologies can change your business, just knowing that divide is getting greater and the change is more opportunistic, and there's a lot more upside potential, but there's also a lot more risk now because you're talking about a greater divide between current state and where you could be with new technologies. So I think just recognizing that gap and recognizing that you don't have to bite off more than you can chew just because the industry is headed that way. I mean, just because we're all talking about AI and AI is getting baked into every nook and cranny of every technology that seems to be out there right now doesn't mean you have to go all in on AI or go all in on these big, massive changes overnight. You can take more incremental improvements where you're sort of cherry picking parts of your business that are going to most benefit from it, or maybe make the easiest case for change. So not getting overwhelmed by it, I guess, would be the other recommendation I would give.